everyone, this is Fine from Awesome Tech Gaming Pro. Today I'm going to talk about Apple iPhone 14 release date, price, specifications, and so on. Apple will most likely unveil the iPhone 14 series on September 13, 2022, as recent rumors from iDrop News claim, and most likely release it to the market on September 23, 2022. However, some recent chatter by Max Weinbeck would be pointing out to a slightly earlier September 6 announcement and September 16 global availability of the iPhone 14 series. That's due to the usual timeframes that the company favors on an annual basis and sticks to. Apple tends to announce its new phones on the first or second Tuesday of September and subsequently release them roughly 10 days later, always on a Friday. Both of mentioned possibly announcement or release date following that pattern. So here, the keynote launch of the iPhone usually kicks off at the Apple Park HQ in Cupertino at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. GMT, and has Apple CEO Tim Cook officially unveil the new iPhones along with other involved key executives on stage, just like WWDC 2022. I expect the iPhone 14 announcement to be a virtual-only affair. Let's talk about iPhone 14 price. Recent rumors in the pricing of the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max versions to be higher than predecessors. The anticipated price hike is due to a variety of factors, namely more expensive components and the display in particular, plus an overall price inflation across the supply chain. What's more, according to CCS Insights Ben Wood, Apple has been mulling over a $100 price hike of all iPhone 14 devices, but might ultimately decide against the price change due to the increased cost of living. Apple might choose to only raise the prices of the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. However, yet another recent rumor claimed that Apple won't be raising iPhone 14 prices at all, and they will remain on the iPhone 13 levels, which is great news. Apple is reportedly still considering the price hike, especially everywhere outside of the US. Provided it does happen, then the prices of Apple's 2022 lineup would look like this. It's important to say that the iPhone 14 Pro Max specifically could get a bigger price hike if a rumored massive camera overhaul happens. For the rest of the models, I don't expect a colossal spike in prices. And again, if I do see such a price hike, though it would likely hit the Pro models the most. Apple is reportedly prepping 4 devices for 2022 and most probably ditching the Apple iPhone mini lineup for good. Here is the large affordable iPhone, which could either be called iPhone 14 Max or, as some recent rumors claim, iPhone 14 Plus, essentially resurrecting the name that Apple gave to its first 5.5-inch iPhone all the way back in 2014. iPhone 14 6.1-inch, the base iPhone, a logical continuation of the iPhone 11, 12, and 13. The new iPhone 14 Max will be 6.7 inches, a larger version of the iPhone 14 with dual cameras and bigger battery. iPhone 14 Pro will be 6.1 inches, the triple camera iPhone 14 with all the bells and whistles in manageable size. And iPhone 14 Pro Max will be 6.7 inches, a largest version of the 14 Pro with premium features and longer battery life. As per famed Apple insider Ming-Chi Kuo, is planning a massive camera upgrade for the iPhone 14 family. Notably, Apple is planning to bring a new and a much larger sensor for the main camera, a massive 1x1.3-inch 48 megapixel sensor. This sensor is expected to grace the top-tier iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max flagships. The main wide-angle camera is the most likely to benefit from the larger sensor first, though the improved camera tech would likely trickle down to the ultra-wide and telephoto cameras in subsequent iPhones down the line. Of course, the Pro models will always be one step ahead. Ming-Chi Kuo said he believes that the new 2022 iPhone may support direct 48 megapixel output and 12 megapixel 4 cells merged output simultaneously. With 12 megapixel output, the CIS pixel size of the new 2022 iPhone increases to about 2.5 micrometer, which is significantly larger than the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13, and larger than existing Android phones and close to the DSC level. This would be the largest camera sensor ever fitted on an Apple iPhone. Thanks to quad pixel binning, it should provide superb low light image quality that would play extremely well with the night mode of the iPhone 14. It looks like Sony will be supplying these new sensors, whereas LG will be tasked with the production of the camera modules for the iPhone 14 themselves. What's more, the new sensor will theoretically allow for 8K video capture with the main camera. At the moment, iPhones can only capture up to 4K video at 60 FPS. I'm not sure whether 8K will actually arrive this year, though, as insiders have said it might not. All of these nifty camera improvements will, however, result into increased costs for Apple, which are likely to trickle down to the end user. It's logical to expect that only the top-end iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone 14 Pro Max will get the new and improved camera tech first. However, all 4 iPhone 14 models are anticipated to have a new front camera that features autofocusing. Since the front camera on all prior iPhones was fixed focus, this would be a welcome upgrade that would let you to take selfies and make video calls with a deeper depth of field. Leaks claim that the new front camera will feature an focus 1.9 aperture rather than the focus 2.2 aperture that was previously utilized, which should let more light in. What will the iPhone 14 series look like? Generally, I don't expect any too major changes in terms of overall design. So I can expect the iPhone 14 series to look mostly similar to the iPhone 13 series. However, one very big change that will stick out will be the removal of the notch on the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which will be substituted for an I-shaped horizontal hole punch cutout. Meanwhile, the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro Max, 14 Max will still use the new narrow notches introduced by the iPhone 13 series. JP Morgan Chase also was among the first ones to break out rumors about a possible titanium frame for some iPhone 14 models, namely the Pro and Pro Max versions. That would be a big change from the stainless steel used in the Pro models currently. But take this one with a grain of salt. Apple has been using a titanium alloy as one of its case material options of for the Apple Watch Series 6 and Series 7 models. And while titanium is not a perfect material in any way, Apple has been reportedly working on different coatings to minimize fingerprint smudges on these next iPhones. Another recent leak shows the new iPhone 14 series will all come with narrower borders around the screen for a cleaner look. This bezel minimization took off the iPhone 12 generation, went strong during the iPhone 13 days, and it seems that the iPhone 14 will give us the thinnest bezels on an iPhone so far. In April, iPhone 14 molds have also made the rounds, reinforcing the notion that I should expect 4 iPhone 14 models with no mini inside this time around. As for the iPhone 14 colors, I expect to see a more conservative color choice with a matte finish on the Pro series, while the non-Pro versions are expected to stick with a glossy finish. For the iPhone 14 and 14 Max models, I expect to see 5 to 6 different color versions: midnight black, starlight white, sky blue, red, purple, or green. I first saw Apple use a purple colorway as an additional color for the iPhone 12 that was introduced about half a year since the original release of the phone, and this one could be a similar slightly darker shade. iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max rumored colors will be graphite, silver, gold, purple, and green. For the Pro models, I see the 3 familiar staple color versions, which is graphite, silver, and gold, and again the new purple tone as the 4th option. Interestingly, there is no mention of a green version of the iPhone 14, despite this being the latest color that Apple released for the iPhone 13 model. And all about the little intricacies of the iPhone 14 colors. Schematics published on Twitter by Max Weinbach revealed the exact dimensions of the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. The iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max will reportedly feature thicker camera islands due to a larger camera sensor, as was suspected. The new 48MP camera that is rumored to replace the 12MP main sensor is the reason behind the thicker camera bump. Who has revealed that compared to the 12MP camera, the diagonal length of the 48MP module will be around 25 to 35% greater, and the height of its 7P lens will increase by 5 to 10% when compared to the primary unit on the iPhone 13 Pro. As I had mentioned, this might also be the first iPhone without a notch since the iPhone X was introduced in 2017. The iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max would embrace a floating oval cutout with a dedicated Face ID dot projector to the side. The selfie camera will be placed in the oval cutout, while the dot illuminator for Face ID will be covered by the display itself and essentially be invisible. So the only thing you will be seeing is the oval camera cutout. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max will most certainly retain the slimmer notch and debuted with the iPhone 13 series. Another rumors calls for the total omission of a physical SIM card slot. Dual eSIMs could be used instead, but even if this comes true, iPhone 14 units with the physical SIM card slots will likely still be sold in regions where the eSIM standard hasn't been adopted yet. However, judging from some recent leaks by leakster Stream Apple Pro, the iPhone 14 series will include a physical SIM card tray, but it's not too outlandish to assume that Apple might sell both regular and eSIM only models of the iPhone 14 series. On the topics of biometrics, there's little to no chance that Touch ID embedded into the display will be making an appearance on the iPhone 14 series. Apple is seemingly still betting on Face ID as the main biometric solution for the iPhone 14. So that's it from now. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications update. Thanks for watching.
To change your